Hello and welcome back to Xpwaste and happy 25th birthday to Runescape. Hi, I'm Michael.
And I'm Oxie. If you're new around here, welcome. We are a show that, unsurprisingly from the intro, talks a lot about old school RuneScape. We're going to be talking a lot about it today. If you're new to old school RuneScape, this is going to be the episode for you guys to watch. If you're not new around here, damn. Regular RuneScape has been out for 25 years. That's absurd. Michael, my friend, how you been?
I've been well, friend. We spoke a little bit before the show. I'm just feeling a little off with the whole not doing it every week, but I'm getting used to it. As I mentioned last time we recorded, it was nice to have that week off, but I've been good. I've been good. The last 2 weeks, I've not really played that much RuneScape. I have not really played much video games, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know what's happening right now in my world where normally I'm on the computer like, a couple hours every night or I get on and just do something, but I haven't had the motivation to do that. And I've been feeling off, at least when it comes to video games. But I'm hopefully going to be getting back into it more. I got on last night. It's been the first time I've played like on a Saturday night in a while, and I did some raids, so it was fun. But the last 2 weeks, man, besides like doing new content, so I did Brutus and I did the raids. I can't recall doing much of anything else. I think we did our stream, but we didn't even play RuneScape then. So we did our
Yeah,
Patreon
we
stream
played
and
Fortnite.
played Fortnite.
It was actually a ton of fun.
Yeah, Fortnite's good stuff. But yeah, I've been good. Been good. I'm tired right now. So if I sound like I'm tired, I am. I don't know why. It was just a really lazy Sunday. We're recording on a Sunday and I took like a 2-hour nap today and still just haven't felt like doing much more than just sitting on the couch watching TikTok. But we're here. We're here. You're probably also more tired than I am, but how are you?
I'm good. I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. I'm tired for substantially different reasons. Because you guys know I'm cool as hell, I have spent the day today playing Pokemon Go for the Kalos Go tour. I did that today, I did that yesterday, and between the 2 days I walked like 18 miles or something like 28.9 kilometers for all of my everyone who's not in the US folks. Um, so we walked a lot. We're pretty decently tired from that. But we had a good time. We got all the shinies that I were looking for. We got Yveltal, we got Tyron, we got Manon. For Michael to translate, because he's never played a Pokemon game, we got my birthday Pokemon, we got
Okay.
the T-Rex Pokemon, and we got the Sword Pokemon. So I got
Hell
the
yeah.
big three that I was looking for today. The shinies, I had a good time with that. So yeah, but man, let me tell you, I am physically tired. I have been up and walking. It's cold, but I didn't play in the cold today. I played in the cold yesterday. Very used to that. But I was out raiding and some of the folks I was raiding with were like, "Dude, we're going to hit up this big mall that's like 35 minutes south of where I live and play there tomorrow because we think there's a lot of stops and gyms." And I was like, "Hell yeah, y'all have fun." And then I woke up this morning and the high was like 18 degrees all day. And I was like, listen, I've been playing this game for a decade. I started playing Pokemon Go right before I turned 20 years old. I was 19 when the game came out. And back then I was much more apt to do shit like play outside for 8 hours straight in the frigid cold. Not so much anymore. So I woke up and I texted the missus and I was like, yo, it's going to feel weird as hell like I'm following these people, but it's actually a banger of an idea to go play at a mall. So I spent the entire day at the mall today. My mom and sister, when I told them, they're like, "Oh, what are you shopping for?" I'm like, "Shopping? Shopping for what? I'm here to play Pokemon." But it was a lot of fun. So definitely had a good time with that. The one of 2 or 3 times a year I end up playing a shit ton of Go. But it was fun. In game, I have been sailing on the main. That's it. I have been sailing on the main. I am currently sitting at 261K to 97 sailing. For those of you following along in VCs with me, or if I've complained here on the show, I did finally get the broken sextant from Marshall Salvage. Went double rate for it, but I'm not that upset because Marshall Salvage is actually kind of decent XP. 2 dragon cannonballs in about 18,500 opulent salvage. So we're not looking too bad. Collection log's not looking too bad. On the iron, I am in hell. On the iron, it's just tormented demons and demonic gorillas. I'm not kidding. I'll do a demonic gorilla task and it'll be like, all right, cool. Like I got a Zenite a couple weeks ago. Cool. Like I said, I don't want to do aberrant specters. Boom. Here's greater demons. And I did all of the greater demons, all like 192 or whatever I got assigned, 133, whatever it was, did all of them. Went back, got a Jad task, and thought, I'm really looking to AFK. Give me like jellies or something. Give me a nice AFK task. I skipped it like you do a Jad task. You just go in the cave and you come back out. What was my next task, Michael?
You said you did TDs, so then obviously it would be black demons.
No, you see, that's where you'd be wrong because I just did TDs. So obviously it would be more tormented demons. It would be 133 additional greater demons on my tally. I'm currently at 515 kills. I have 2 pieces of burning claws, which you're like, oh my God, that's so exciting, Oxie, you got claws. My team already had like 6 pairs before I got some. So just add it to the death pile or death's coffer fee or split money
Yeah,
or
seriously.
whatever. So I am in hell with these tormented demons, and I'm really contemplating going back for the stream, which happened by the time you're listening to this, the stream's already happened. I'm contemplating going back, but I'm also contemplating trying hard mode cow. So you're going to be hearing this from the future and you'll know how the stream went to see if like I was actually able to get hard mode cow done. But it's been fun. Cow boss is an experience. Why don't we shift into that? Cow boss came out this week. Michael's very excited about the cow boss.
Well, I got bullied in our bingo planning meeting saying, oh no, you can't have an opinion on it if you haven't done it. So then I went home that night and green logged it. And now Tiki said I can have an opinion. So
I mean,
it's good content.
In fairness, it was like, why don't we just make him get like 10 milk buckets? And Tiki and I were like, let's not do that. He's like, guys, it's a boss. Like it's a legit boss. We're like, no, it's not. Have you done it? And he's like, no. I'm like, yeah. Go try it out and see what kind of a boss it is. It's fun. I'm excited to try the demonic version, but I have 18 KC. Did the quest, did it on my iPad. Got I think it's like the 3 tick time, 1.8 seconds. And was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna do this at home. And then just have it because I've been on this godforsaken boat. Like Jack, he's in the recording booth right now. He texted me earlier today. I just saw it a little bit ago. He said, where's my Yama duo been? At work, at fencing, or on a boat? This weekend I've been doing a lot of Pokemon Go, but at work, at fencing, or on a boat. So 99 is fast approaching. I haven't done the math recently, but I would bet that I'm like 250K a day away from 99 by the time Springo comes around here in a few weeks.
Yeah, because that's the goal.
Yes.
Maxscape before Springo.
I am not doing another bingo without a Maxscape, come hell or high water. I don't care what I have to do. This week is technically spring break for my university, so I have a very light caseload. I still have to work. Spring break it means nothing to me. But my caseload is light because students don't want to be seen on spring break. So I'm going to be hanging out.
I think you can do it.
Yeah, trying to
250 a day seems like a couple hours maybe, or maybe even an hour. I don't know what the XP rates at your salvage level is.
I mean, kind of paying attention, I get somewhere between like 70 and 85K an hour.
Oh, okay.
Like,
well, you could do a couple hours of the glide to supplement that.
Yeah, I'm sure I could. I don't know if I will, but I'm sure I could.
Really?
Like,
You're not feeling the glide anymore?
it's less about not feeling the glide and more about I don't have time to feel the glide, you know?
Oh,
I don't have time to sit down and like truly lock in on the Gwyneth glide. I kind of have to like pull open the iPad and sail and salvage for an hour while I like catch up on documentation.
yeah.
Or I come home from fencing and it's like, do I exert the mental energy to glide or do I just like throw on a YouTube video, salvage, and kill tormented demons? Which I haven't done, by the way. I have not logged in to the Iron the day of recording. It's been about 7 days on the dot. I have not logged into the Iron Man since then. I got that Slayer task and literally was like, okay, guys, I'm going to bed. See ya. Just like logged off. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So
Oh, I did have a follow-up question to something you said about Pokemon Go. What is a birthday Pokemon?
So your birthday Pokemon is the Pokemon in the national dex that is associated with your birthday. You don't have a birthday Pokemon
Oh,
because there is not 1120 Pokemon out.
gotcha.
But like
One day.
yes, one day. It's quite possible that they just announced Gen 10 actually, Winds and Waves. So it's entirely possible that soon Michael has his own birthday Pokemon, which will be nice. But yes, it is your month and then day. So sorry, Europe. It's month and then day, like God intended. But yeah, mine is 717.
Oh, cool.
So which is Yveltal, which is cool.
717. Yeah, 1123. You have to let me know when they get that high. I
It'll
can
be
get it
in
tattooed on
about a
myself
year
or
and a
something.
half.
Oh, sick. Calendar, remind me for a year and a half from now.
Yeah, all my folks excited for Winds and Waves. Sound off in the Xpwaste chat. But yeah,
When are they going to let Pokemon die gracefully? Probably
what
when it
what do you mean?
stops
Like,
shitting out money.
what do you mean by die gracefully?
I I don't know, but I get the feeling that they're hurting for new ideas. I've seen some of the Pokemon they put out recently. I'm like, okay, okay, that's a Pokemon. Okay, cool.
Oh my
It's really
god,
clever, guys.
Michael calls me a boomer constantly when I talk about
Because
RuneScape.
you
No, I
are.
need you guys to understand. Michael calls me a boomer constantly. Like he's up on the new age hip 6'7" skibbity toilet Riz tech. That is literally Michael when I talk about anything related to RuneScape. Michael is the most Gen 1 coded boomer I have ever met in my entire life. Michael
There's
is the
only
most like it was fine at 151. Why
there's
did we
100,
have to add
151 Pokemon,
more?
guys.
Yeah, exactly. This motherfucker is the most Gen 1 coded boomer I've ever met in my entire life. I'm not out here trying I'm not out here trying to defend a mega corporation. You realize it is like the most selling franchise in the world, right?
I do,
So
and that's why
they're not
I
hurting
think.
for ideas.
Oh, I just think some of the stuff they put out, I'm like, that's really clever. Nah, my
Give me
experience
an
with Pokemon
example.
ended in Platinum. The new starters, it's like a pom pom Pokemon. So you just made a dog. You just took a dog from real life and made it, and you're calling it a Pokemon.
Okay, so what if I told you they took a salamander, a turtle, and then another weirder looking turtle?
Yeah, but
They're all
they
technically
actually
turtles,
made it
actually.
look like a monster, and didn't just say like, "Oh, this
But
looks like a dog." Squirtle. Yes, he's a
guys,
turtle,
am I
but it
stupid?
doesn't
Does
look like a
Squirtle hold on?
turtle.
Does Squirtle not look almost identical to a turtle? Are you
No,
trying to tell me hold on, is the Gen 1 boomer trying to tell me that this fucking guy right here doesn't look identical to a turtle?
he does, but in a different way than what they're doing now.
in the exact same way, Michael. This is how you can tell Michael he's not hip with the
I
kids when
can't
it comes
argue
to
with this.
Pokemon.
I
He's
can't
not hip with
argue
the
with you
kids when
about
it comes
this.
to Pokemon because he doesn't understand that all three starter trios have a theme that they all follow.
Well, what's the theme with this new starter theme
Well, they haven't
trio?
revealed it yet, but there is speculation that it's something with Japanese culture. It's like a sumo wrestler, a geisha, and a calligraphist. Because the top of the dog's head looks like a calligraphy pen. The eyelashes on the water gecko look something like a geisha, whatever that is. And then the bird is real fat and wears pants, and people think it's a sumo wrestler. It's gonna be a big sumo bird.
Interesting.
My man's got to do research. Look at the gens 1 and 2 are, real life animals with some created liberties. Same thing with Gen 3. And then Gen 4 is when they start to get into like it's mythology. It is a role playing game. They are like celebrities, things like that.
Oh,
They're
cool.
different performers in like Gen 9 is all like Spanish culture, which is fun. So,
Maybe I need to do more research before I have an
or
opinion.
actually play the game. Consider that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Think you'd like it.
Can you play it on the computer?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, get an emulator.
Oh, an emulator. Okay.
They released Fire Red and Leaf Green to the Switch though, so who knows, Boomer, you could play that.
I can't get into top down like 2D games. It's hard for me. I don't have that great of an attention span. Ralph said yikes.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're all thinking it. But
So going back to Cow Boss, get us back on track with the old school RuneScape. I
Cowboss.
really
You
enjoyed
mean
Cow
Whitney's Mill
Boss.
Tank? What?
Oh gosh. I greenlocked it in one sitting. I had every single unique still in my inventory by the time I finished at 172 KC, and I accidentally forgot to do one of the combat achievements. And so I had to go get one more KC. So technically I ended on 173, but I got the pet on 172. So all the CAs are done. It's the fastest I've ever completed anything, I think, in old school RuneScape when it comes to new content. I've the only other boss I have on my Iron Man green logged is Hispori, and that takes all of like a week if you get lucky with the
Michael,
grow times and the drop rates and stuff.
I have logged 347 days on my main account. I have killed Hespori 93 times on my main account. My personal best is 30 seconds on the dot. I still don't have a bucket. And on my
Are you
iron,
still killing Hispori?
no. Why the fuck would
You
I still
just
kill Hespori? I have 99
with the
farming.
green log. It's your collection logger, aren't you?
Yeah, but like,
Is it the same Oxie that I've always known?
yeah, but you think that's something I need to remember to do, and I'm not going to do that.
Oh,
I need to remember to plant a Hespori, and then I need to remember to check a Hespori because for the life of me, I don't currently know if I have one planted, but I'm in the ocean on my boat and can't go check.
uh,
So,
yeah. That's the hard part about sailing, is you could teleport away, but all of your salvage is just dunzo, and that's kind of the point.
yeah.
So makes it difficult to like jump around and do other content without feeling the need to constantly go back to port. But I understand because like if you're able to teleport back to the port with your shit in there, I guess you could bank it faster. I don't know. It seems like why would you want to do that? Because then you'd have to go back out to sea and get back to the salvaging spot every time your boat was full.
Yeah.
So you got 18 KC. Do you plan on going and like getting a green log at Brutus?
Probably, but if I'm being entirely honest, I'm going to wait for bingo. I'm not going to do
Mm,
regular Brutus until bingo, you know?
yeah, makes sense. I I wanted to go and try demonic Brutus without a guide, and I did a couple times. I died like 3 times. The first time, the 4 bulls spawn and they start to charge. I get 50, 50, 50. I'm just dead. So it's difficult, but I saw a guide today on TikTok that made it look easier. But even like this guy had max gear with a scythe, radiant oath plate, and it was still taking him 3.5 minutes to kill demonic Brutus. So I can't even imagine me with my fang on the iron trying to do that in an efficient manner. Not even efficient, in a timely manner rather. But like the demonic slippers would be cool. The sucky part is they're not even a collection log. So yeah, you get the status, and I guess it lines up with the other like status recolors. Like there's no Blorva clog and there's no radiant clog, but I was kind of disappointed that they didn't make the demonic version a clog. Ralph says, "No offense, this is out of your skill set." I understand that, and I don't argue, but a guy could
I
try.
know he's talking about demonic Brutus, but I at first thought he was talking about the original cow boss. And I was like, set the fuck down,
Oh
Michael.
gosh, yeah, no, the demonic one. That's real good content. It's really silly. It's really silly, but it's a good time.
I did the demonic cow boss once, and I won't even say I did it because I went to the abyss, I grabbed a couple potatoes, went in on my iron because I was like, how bad can this thing possibly be? And the model, not my iron, my iPad rather, the model didn't load on mobile. So
Weird.
I was like, is this the gimmick? Is the boss invisible? Like, I was like, I'm protecting from melee, like I'm not getting hit. Like, am I missing something? And then it was just like bam, bam, and somehow I missed the other charging phases. And like I hit 50-50, got knocked to like 3 HP because I was overhealed. And I was like, well, I'm gonna construction cape my way out of here. And I literally was in the CC. I'm like, does the Brutus model show for you guys on the Awakened version? And they're like, yeah, it does. I'm like, okay, cool. I just want to make sure. And then I saw people doing it later on TikTok as well. Um, and I'm like, okay, so it was just a mobile error. It looks
Mm.
tough. That enrage phase looks tough. I don't like walking and switching prayers to begin with, but
The guy that I watched, he just ate through it. Like he saved all of his food for the end because it hits you 20s each time, and you can just tick eat. That's what he was doing at least. He was just tick eating and trying to kill it fast.
yeah, I mean, you can like realistically, you can hit if you get the third and fourth prayer correct. Because from what I've seen, it's like it'll be like mage range melee melee or like melee mage range range. Like the last two will always be the same, I think. So if you can get that correct, probably fine. But I've not
Yeah.
done demonic Brutus where I can actually see it. So maybe by the
Oh.
time this episode comes out, I will have seen it. I'll have done like 100 something attempts because why would I not throw a bunch of money away before bingo starts? So, you know,
Somebody in CC said, or maybe it was in the comment section on that video, that you can go in with like full void and a scythe, and the death cost is very reasonable. So if you don't want to go in guns a blazing and still be able to get a kill, full void might be a good shout.
it might be, but mama didn't raise no bitch, and the people aren't here to watch me save money. So, despite the initial idea to have Cal Boss be the topic of this episode, we decided to not do that because the episode is over 7 minutes ago because Michael and I have been dragging this conversation out for far too long. But we're gonna switch today and we're gonna chat about something a little bit different here. So because I'm so cool and in between playing RuneScape and sword fighting and recording my RuneScape podcast, I was playing a bunch of Pokemon Go. I was playing it with an old friend of mine. He's one of my closest friends. We, you know, high school, college, now we live in the same town. It was a good time. We played for a little while. And some of his buddies are getting back into old school RuneScape. And he is like, I've got a guy who is basically a wiki. Like, sure, ask him. And his buddy's asking these questions about like low level moneymaker and what are some valid low level money makers. And I'm like, so I thought of a couple. You know, he suggested one. I'm like, yeah, that one's a good one. So we'll talk about some here today. But shout out to Chris and Dave. You guys are get Chris back into it. Dave. That's your
Shout
job.
out.
Get him into it. But yeah, we're gonna talk about some low level moneymakers today. Low, mid level moneymakers. So if you guys are new to old school RuneScape specifically, this is gonna be the episode for you. Now, there are two caveats that I want to start this episode off with. Number one, for a full, expansive list of moneymakers, head to the wiki and go to the money per hour table. You'll find a lot of stuff that's in your skill set that Michael and I are not going to talk about because there's like hundreds of options. So we're not going to talk about all of them. Number one. Number two, I'm going to establish it now. And I speak for Michael and I when I say this. We don't condone trying to make a bunch of money before you have your quest cape. We don't condone trying to make a bunch of money before you don't have some diaries done. So do your quests and do if you're in the point in your account where you're like, I gotta start making some money, you better start doing your goddamn diaries. Look me in the eyes. You better start doing your goddamn diaries. I'm watching you. Filthy Ors, I'm watching you. So we're gonna put that on the table right now. That like quests and diaries should take precedence over money. However, there is a notebook I have behind me somewhere on the ground with a bunch of like scratch pad napkin math on how I was going to afford 70 construction for Song of the Elves. And that math is probably not that off base because mahogany planks really don't change in price because how much they cost for like plank make and the sawmill and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
The only difference between then and now, you figure I got my quest cape in 2019, 2020, my first quest cape. The only difference is mahogany homes. So you might have to
Yeah, I
spend
was gonna
less
mention that.
money. You might have to spend less money, but it's still going to be a couple million that you're going to have to fork over in planks. So regardless of how you do it, it's a loss because herb lore is also a loss because while there is again mastering mixology, you still gotta spend some money to get whatever fucking moss, whatever it's called. I done the minigame one
The
time.
paste.
Yeah, whatever, the paste. So you do have to make some money. And money making in RuneScape can be boring as fuck. Sometimes. And also hard. Michael, I don't know about you. I have, as I said earlier, played old school RuneScape on my main account for 349 days and 7 hours. That's about 7,800 hours ish. Plus all the time I've put in on my iron, which is like another 60 something days maybe, right? I'll play this game a lot. That's not counting leagues and dead man mode and all that other shit. I imagine you have as well,
Yeah.
right? When we play a new game mode like a league or a dead man mode, you'd think we have no fucking clue how to play this game. It is so hard to make money when you don't have money in old school RuneScape. So we get it. So we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about some low level money makers today. That's the goal. So do you want to kick us off, Michael, or do you want me to? I've talked a lot. Why don't you kick us off? Unless you got
Yeah.
something else to add.
Well, I want to address the elephant in the room, which is buying bonds.
I was gonna. Yep. Okay, that's a good one. You can buy
Yes.
bonds.
Bonds are not a bad way to fund your account if you have the extra ducats. So a lot of this stuff is going to pale in comparison to, what you can make by just spending $7 or $8 and getting a bond. Because at the current prices, they got to be close to 15 mil right now. And 15 mil on a low level kind of mid game account, that's decent cash. If you buy 2 bonds, you're probably set up for a lot of like almost everything you want to do. So you could just turn the podcast off now, log into Jagex, and buy a couple bonds. But this is going to be this whole episode was geared towards getting getting your GP from doing in-game activities. But the elephant in the room is literally you could just buy a bond and bypass all of this. But I will say there is an element of that is less fun coming from somebody who worked for their account and got to like maybe a 3 or 400 mil bank, and then I was given an account, or like I was basically given 2 bill GP from an account that I recovered that was previously banned. And yeah, like going from 3 or 400 mil that I made all the way to 2 bill of just like liquid cash, it changed my perspective and outlook on the game. It still was fun because I was able to fund buyables and I was able to buy good gear, but I lacked a certain skill set that comes with doing content and earning the money yourself. Oxy's going to be talking more about like the PVM aspect of the money making, and I'm going to be talking about some lower level mid game skilling things that you can do. And so pay attention. If the most you've ever done in this game is like, oh, I've killed Winter Todd and I've done a bunch of Temporos and Guardians of the Rift, and like you've got boss KC, but they're technically mini game boss KC, this episode's for you. We're going to be talking about things other than bossing, but still get the gears turning. And like Oxy said, check out the wiki because they have a ton of stuff that goes from like highest GP per hour down to lowest, and find where your skill set is at and maybe even push yourself. Moons of Peril is a lot of fun, and those drops can be worth money. Barrows is still fun, and those drops can be worth money. Some of them are cheap and useless, but there are a couple of them that are close to a mil. So those sets have value, and you're going to be getting runes, and you're going to be making money doing it. It doesn't have a large input cost. So just stuff to think about. And this won't be an exhaustive list. I think I have like 3 or 4. So it'll be quite a smaller list, but it comes with experience. We've done these things. We've had experience doing this. So we know, hey, if you need a couple mil to buy a blowpipe, actually blowpipes are way more expensive than they should be. If you need a few mil to buy charges for your blowpipe, then maybe you spend a couple hours on a Saturday morning doing one of the moneymakers that we're talking about. So, kicking us off, I'm going to dive into the first one, the skilling category. Uh, Basically, just salvaging. When you think salvaging, most people think like, I'm going to stand at the hook, I'm going to get the salvage, I'm going to clean it, and I'm going to drop it. If you're a little bit more diligent and you want to pay attention a little bit more, you basically have infinite money at your fingertips. Just depends on how long you want to stay there. So, pirate salvaging, starting at 64 sailing, is not a bad option. If you really want something that's quote unquote AFK, you can get pirate salvage and clean it, and it's going to give you items that can alch for a decent amount over time. I think that the wiki said this one is about 250k an hour GP. Could be better if your luck is a bit better, but on average, each plundered salvage is about 6 or 700 GP in alchs. So for a few hours while you're watching TV, it's not a bad way to make a passive cash stack. And it really takes almost no input other than you pay attention for a few minutes every time you get an inventory of salvage and you alch them. I was alching stuff on my main, and I think I got close to like 500k, maybe a mil. And then I was like, I actually don't need this money. I'm going to stop. So I stopped doing it. But for a while, I was alching, and it's not bad. Like once you, in the cool part is 70, 64 salvaging is pirate salvage. But as you're doing this, you're getting a higher and higher salvaging level to where you can get to those higher salvaging spots that can give you more money. Right now, merchant shipwrecks are the highest salvaging option that we have. At 87, you're getting opulent salvage, which gives you GP and plat tokens. Couple that with if you have the crystal extractor, you're also getting crystal shards, which you can turn into crystal dust, and that can be made into divine potions. So, like, it's all kind of a passive way of getting the money while training a skill that's actually not too bad to do AFK.
Yeah.
That was it for sailing. I feel like you
Anyways,
disagree.
um, you can make money salvaging. I have found, having done plundered. How many collection logs do I have? Like plundered up through merchant or whatever it is. Sea treasures. Yeah, so I've done plundered, martial, Fremenic, and opulent salvage. So 63 up to 87, which is now 96 on my account. You get money from opulent at 87. Not a terrible amount. I mean, like, martial isn't bad. For 73 sailing, martial salvaging isn't too bad. Off the top of my head, Fremenic salvaging, there's some merit to it. You know, you get some Fremenic helms and things like that you can alch. Yeah, you get some Fremenic helms, which alch for about 36K a piece, rarely. Pretty much everything else is garbage. Just put that right in the bin. You can keep the Ironwood seeds if you're really strapped, but I wouldn't have chosen that just because of how the level investment. But I mean, you know, I didn't pick the skilling one. So,
I mean,
but
starting out at 64, that's not that high of an investment. If you can start doing it AFK, which most people like AFK moneymakers anyway. Something you can do at work. If you play casually while you're working, you end the day with a not a big cash stack, but more than you had when you started.
yeah, on to my first PVM one. It's probably the best one that I have listed because I picture this as like low level, like pre RuneScape brain low level, where the mid 50s blues are ruining your life, right? Because it's the worst part of the game. And you're looking at some of these quest requirements going, how the fuck am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? And then how am I going to afford that? Ew, that's so expensive. Looking at gear being like, all right, I got to make like, back in the day, it was like 3 mil. What are blowpipes now? Like 15 mil?
Yeah, something like 12 or 13.
Tanzanite fangs are 11.3 mil right now. So some of this gear is getting to be some expensive booty. Some of it's also fallen in price, but still expensive nonetheless. So I kind of aimed it towards that demographic of players, like newer to old school. The first and best moneymaker I have from PVM is not technically PVM. It's not like bossing PVM. It's the wilderness. Full stop. Full stop, the wilderness. If you get yourself 43 prayer, which most of you listening should probably already have, if you get yourself 43 prayer, the wilderness unlocks plethora of good money makers. I'm not kidding. First and foremost, what was actually suggested to me that kind of sparked this whole episode was zombie pirates. Now, I've only ever killed zombie pirates for bingos, and I am a main account with a shit ton of money. So I have not been paying too close of attention to what the drops are. But according to the wiki, it's like on a budget. Let me find the entry again. On a budget, it's like 1.7 mil an hour. So get
Wow.
43 prayer. You're going to be protecting from magic. 1.7 mil an hour. You're going to probably use melee, and you can bring literal garbage because they drop a bunch of alcohols, a bunch of runes, and they drop zombie pirate keys, which can be used to unlock the zombie pirate chest in the lockers, which unlock nothing crazy good, you know,
Hmm.
but still more alcohols. It's just more money for you. So it's pretty decent. For zombie pirates, you can wear nothing. You can wear the old faithful, old reliable in the wilderness monk's robes. You rock some monk's robes. You rock a ring of dueling. You rock, maybe get crazy, take a glory, or maybe get crazy, take a fury with you. Take a fury, take your best melee weapon, dragon scimitar type shit, whatever it is. Again, that's the demographic I'm kind of talking to here. And take that's it. take your fucking arty cloak because I know you've been doing your diaries, but you don't lose on tradables at that part of the wilderness, correct? I believe they're below 20, right?
I'm not sure, but
I believe they're below 20 because I believe they're in line with Ferox Enclave, which is like level 13 wilderness.
mm,
Yeah, so they're about on the same plane as Ferox. So they should be below 20 wilderness. You can bring your Dragon Defender out there. If for some reason you want to use range like a blowpipe, you can bring your backpack out there. You won't lose it if you're killed by a PvPer. But you don't really need much. Nezi Helm, melee weapon, Arty Cape, because again, I know you're doing your diaries, right? Right?
right. Yes, chef.
Best melee weapon, Monk's Robes, Fury, and then a Ring of Dueling. So you can teleport right back to Ferox Enclave, bank your shit, and then run right over. You're going to run into two problems. The first problem is the mages that are there are going to teleblock you. You're going to get what's called a half TB, where the mages are going to teleblock you for 2.5 minutes. A full TB lasts for 5 minutes, but if you're praying mage, which you should be, because some mages will fuck you up, you can get a 2.5 minute teleblock timer. Teleblocks are fine because you can run south and jump over the ditch. It's not that far away. You can run south and log out. If you log out, your TB timer goes away, but you cannot enter the Ferox Enclave when you are teleblocked. And you obviously won't be able to teleport away when you are teleblocked. That's the first issue. And that's really only an issue because of the second issue, which is the PvPers. Take it from me. You're gonna die in the wilderness. I have collectively, I've done the math, something like 7,000 wilderness boss KC. You're gonna die. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Really, really rock the whole "you can't kill me in a way that matters" mantra. Bring gear that isn't expensive and change the way you think about loot in the wilderness. If you're new to the wilderness, whether you're a new RuneScape player or you have just afraid of wildy content for some reason, picture it like this. Whatever's in your looting bag isn't real until you get to the bank. It is
Yeah.
not real loot. So if you get killed for 2 million GP in the wilderness and 1.8 of that million was in your looting bag, it's not really a net loss. You didn't lose 2 mil. You only lost like 200K worth of shit that was in your inventory and on your person. Because that 2 mil never really made it to your bank. So you never had the opportunity to spend it on something more useful. So you didn't lose 2 mil. You just sort of got PK before you can get back.
Yeah.
You know? And when you start to think about it like that, it gets a lot more palatable to get killed. Because it goes from this scary, like, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything in a full PvP situation to, man, fuck you, leave me alone. You know, like it goes from scary to kind of frustrating. Think of it like a wasp that won't leave you alone at a picnic. Like, man, fuck off, leave me alone. That will help immensely. In addition to zombie pirates, if you're looking for something a little more dangerous, try the low level bosses. There are 5 low level bosses that are worth doing in the wilderness. Crazy Archaeologist, really only worth it for the Odium Ward and the Malediction Ward. So really don't worry about it for anything else. Crazy Archaeologist, Scorpia. Scorpia is not too bad. It's in level 50. So if you get jumped by a team in Malti, you're probably gonna die. But again, none of that loot is real, so it doesn't matter. And then the 3 baby bosses. So Spindle, Artio, and Calvarion. I'm not a big Calvarion enjoyer just because I never got a KC at it and thought it would be funnier to have more Infernal Capes than Calvarion kills. And that's no longer the case because I whiffed a 99 herb lore. That's a story for another day, though. So Calvarion, the times I've done it on the Iron, is pretty decent. Calvarion's pretty decent. Artio pisses me off. I don't know why. I don't know why Artio pisses me off. I've gone on my main account, Max Combat. I can't get Artio right. I don't know why. And then Spindle. I like Spindle. You know? I don't know. I like Venenatis better, but I like Spindle. If you're feeling confident and comfortable, you can go with other players and take on some of the bigger bosses. Everybody knows the Church Bear and TNL, decent moneymaker there. I wouldn't take more than 2 or 3 people to a Venenatis trip just because the spiderlings are overwhelming. And honestly, if you get confident enough, you get yourself a chain mace, you can solo Vedion. All decent money. If you're feeling really ballsy and you want the most dangerous option, Revenants. Revenants,
Yeah.
without question, are the most dangerous option because to kill Revenants in the best way, you have to be skulled. So if you want to kill Revenants, all you're going to need is a magic shortbow, black D-hide, which is like, so we're talking like 70-ish range, right? Magic shortbow, black D-hide, one of those green backpacks, the Ava's accumulator, I think it is, not the assembler. Ava's accumulator. And then you're going to spend a couple hundred K GP on an amulet of Avarice. Amulet of Avarice are about 450K right now. The Amulet of Avarice does 2 things. Number 1, it gives you a permanent skull when you're wearing it. That even when you take it off, the skull will still be there, right? The skull will last for 20 minutes once you take it off. It's not a permanent skull. It's a permanent skull while you're wearing the amulet, and it also notes the drops. Now, Revenants shit out GP. Revenants drop alkables, they drop runes, they drop teleports, they drop they have the potential to drop the Revenant weapons, which are always a lot of money. Though pretty rare, they are a lot of money. And they can also drop totems, which can be handed in for literal money. Like the most expensive totem is like 16 mil. And you could just get it for regular money. If you don't have a crossbow or a web weaver bow, Revenants with a magic short bow, once you know what you're doing, are 3 mil an hour.
Damn, dude.
Not, again, I don't think they're as profitable, as like, they're barely less than Callisto. Venenatis, I think, is the best wilderness moneymaker at about 5.6 mil an hour. Vedion's 4.4 mil an hour. So they're not the best moneymaker in the wilderness, but they're once again low input and they really don't require too much. I would have higher prayer just so you can have more prayer. Revenants do have this really fun healing mechanic where they just heal you for no fucking, or they heal themselves for no fucking reason. You'll need to have a bracelet of Ethereum too, but those are pretty cheap. So going to the Revenants, you will be risking a lot more. So protect from item, protect one item. You know, if you have one good item, protect one good item, and go make some money out there. It's a 100K entry fee. So my first tip is to get out in the wilderness and do your goddamn wilderness diaries. Because if you don't do your fucking wilderness diaries, then you won't be able to get all the benefits. At least up to the medium, right? At least do up to your medium diaries to get the bonuses. But also don't be a bitch and do the hard diaries.
Yeah, the hard diary is not too bad, and it gives you an instant telly versus having a tick delay or whatever to tell you out of Rev Caves.
Oh my god, the Revenant Cave delay. Oh, that's a stupid fucking mechanic. I forgot about that. I've never killed Revenants without the hard diary, so.
And it's I would say it's newer.
Within the last couple of years.
Of years, yeah. I agree with all those. I think the wilderness has a good level of risk versus reward right now. And like Oxie was saying, if you're there long enough, you kind of become numb to like the nervous feeling that you get when you're not that well familiar with the wilderness. Like I've done enough wilderness content right now that going in and doing a willy boss or doing a clue step doesn't make me sweat. I'm not nervous. If I see someone, I'll probably just die. And hey, that's a couple 100K that I've lost. And I'm in a position where I can do that because one, I've been in the wilderness enough, and also like Oxy said, the money that you get while you're doing these bosses, I don't I have the same outlook. It's not really my money until I get back to the bank. So if you have a few mil in your looting bag, just go bank.
I was just saying, you can go
bank
bank whenever. You don't have to stay there with like 5 mil. I used to do So way back in the day, if you are new to old school or you are new to the wilderness, way back in the day when Michael and I first started doing XP waste in like 2021, they updated the wilderness bosses because they used to be broken. They used to like genuinely be coded poorly and like not work. And the safe spots were just like bugs in their code. I would sit at Old Venenatis for hours. I would have millions of GP in my looting bag because it was also in 27 wilderness. So if somebody rolled up, you could just instantly seed pot away. Which, by the way, get your quest cape and you'll have a free teleport out for
Mhm.
under level 30 wilderness. Think about it. But no, I'd be there for hours. I'd call myself a white whale because if a PKer caught me, I'm who they're hunting.
Yeah,
Right? Like I've got
you're the guy.
2.5 mil worth of onyx bolt tips and snapdragons and red spiders eggs in my looting bag. I should have left 20 minutes ago, but like the bow still got charges. I might as well ride it out for a little while. So once you start getting some good looting bags and taking some good looting bags home, you're gonna be happy with the wilderness. You're gonna be happy with it.
Yeah, after your first trip, it's all profit. You know, that 200K that you lost, you just banked a couple of mil from like, 30 or 40 minutes doing zombie pirates. The wilderness agility arena is also not a bad idea
Yeah. Yeah, I've
if you can
heard
go
that
with
one's pretty good.
there's a friends chat of people that it's like you can't kill everyone. So you just do it safety in numbers.
Hmm.
And not that you won't die, but it's less likely that you'll die doing the wilderness agility arena. And that's pretty decent money as well.
Yeah, I've heard that's pretty good. Still gotta understand that there's a very real chance that you do die. So
Yes. Yeah.
you're gonna die out there. And then when you've died enough and you're like, man, I'm sick of dying, come back to this show and we can teach you about how to bolt rag.
Yep.
Come back and we'll teach you about the DD nuke tactic where you go to a multi-combat boss and you all stand on the same tile. So when the PKers barrage you, you can send 70 fucking dark bow shots at them. When
Yeah.
you've been in the wilderness long enough, come back and we'll tell you how to fend off the PKer. But for now, go make some money.
Yeah. I was thinking that, like, if you've been in the wilderness long enough, you start to become comfortable and familiar. That's when you can start to anti PK and at least fight back a little bit. Because getting skull trick sucks, but they've done a lot of due diligence
Yeah, turn skull prevention
to
on.
make it to where skull tricking is harder. You can
Hmm.
still get duped, but it's a lot harder these days. And maybe fighting back is all you need to get away. Because maybe that PK was like, oh, I'm just used to people standing there taking it, and they don't want to actually fight. They just want to kill you. So then you send a bolt, and they're like, oh, I'm out. You know, that saves you from having to bank because you can just keep going and doing what you were doing. I think that's the most annoying part is like not having a stack of supplies. Oxy calls it like a return set. And it might not be a bad idea to invest in that. Like if you're doing revs, have like a stack of 10 like sets of d'hide, 10 magic short bows, a few thousand arrows so that when you do die, because you will, you can just go back go right back out and there's no time to get discouraged, having to go to the GE and buy a new set every single time. Just
Hmm.
make a return set tab,
Editing
stock it
Michael,
with food.
remind me to get you a screenshot of my wilderness tab for the people watching on YouTube. I have a bank
Oh
tab,
yeah.
not the plugin, like an actual tab at the top of my bank that
Oh
is
wow.
just wilderness stuff. So
Sick.
remind me to send you a picture of that so it's on screen now of what like sits in my bank all the time. So
Yeah. Having that return set can be the difference between like feeling discouraged or not. And I know it's happened to me. I've been like, man, I really want to do this content, but as an iron, I have to go and collect all the things to to have on hand. So it's a bit different for a main because you can just buy all the sets and buy all the gear. But on an iron, you have to do a little bit of work planning ahead. You're going in monk's robes, say, to like Calvarian or Vedion, stock up on like 30 monk robe sets so you don't have to worry about it. And pay attention to what items you lose on death and what gets sent to your gravestone. So, stuff that you can get easily, stock up on it. Speaking of quests and having a quest cape and doing all of the content that is available to you, my next one for skilling is kind of a, out of left field, but Volcano is a very, very good moneymaker that it's not low level, right? Because Song of the Elves is a Grandmaster quest and you will have to put in some effort to get the requirements and do all the quests. But when all is said and done, Volcano's like 2 mil an hour if you turn on drops and not, and you don't focus on XP. You still get some XP when you have the drops turned on, but for the most part, it's good money and it can be decent XP if you want it to. Going into Mass World, a single kill is not that long. It will take some getting used to when the pace changes a lot. So if you go in a smaller team, 3 to 5 people, and you find an open world and maybe you want to have some clanmates go out and do a few hours of Volcano, it's obviously going to be better loot. Um, but it can the games will be longer and it might be harder to find an open world. If you just log into one of the mass worlds, instantly hop in, games take like 30 seconds. It's very fast.
I would stick to the mass worlds for XP, not loot.
That's
Loot's
a good
tough
call.
on the mass world
It's a good call out.
because there's people who are like, you kill the boss in 30 seconds, but there's 25 people who all have 99 mining. So unless you have 99
True.
mining and a crystal pickaxe, which are expensive as fuck relative to other skilling items in the game, you're not going to get enough to get decent loot. But the XP is stupid. Because
Yeah.
isn't it like an XP drop per kill?
Oh,
That's Volcano
I don't
now?
know. Because I'm pretty sure I turned on loot whenever I did my Volcano grind for my crystal shards. I couldn't even I don't think I can scroll back far enough because that was so long ago. Is there a search feature
You
in
probably can
the
go on the website and look it up, but TLDR, make sure you have the loot on. Anyone who tells you to not waste the mining XP and turn the loot off and get the XP instead, they're victims of propaganda. And you can tell them to take a propaganda at these nuts because you're going to go get loot from Volcano. It's actually pretty good mining XP, but it released after I got 99 mining, so I never got to experience it on the main. But from
No.
what I've been told, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like 70 or 80K.
We're not here to talk about XP. We're here to talk about money.
Money. And it's good money.
You want good
Like,
mining XP, you do it the old fashioned way. You get to fucking volcanic mine. You drag a couple of your sorry ass friends to volcanic mine. You teach them the ways of the A vent and C vent.
but yeah, I mean, it's pretty low input. Dragon picks is really all you would need. And those are hella cheap these days. So you need 70 mining, I think, to do Song of the Elves. So then at that point, you've got the requirements.
Yeah. I will say Song of the Elves is a lot of money to input, but once you get there, like the first thing you can do in Priv to make that money back that you spent on construction and herblore can be Volcano. And you'll make decent money if you spend like a week there. There is the corrupted gauntlet, the gauntlet and the corrupted gauntlet, but we're talking lower level than that,
Yeah.
if that makes
The
sense.
regular gauntlet is not difficult, but it's not a low or mid game boss. I mean, if you have like base 85s, I would give it a try.
Mhm.
It is there will be a learning curve. But the regular gauntlet is not bad money either. I'm not sure on the exact numbers. Corrupted gauntlet obviously was what everybody does for the BOFA, but you can still get all the items at the regular gauntlet. The drop rates are just way more. So
Mhm.
you're better off doing something like Volcano for money and going and killing Zulra or going and doing Vorkath, some other boss to get more comfortable with PVM and then head back to the Corrupted Gauntlet.
Yeah, if you guys are listening to this and you guys are RuneScape players, right? If you guys have RuneScape brain, as I call it, you're gonna listen to this and think to yourself, like, why are they not talking about this? Why are they not talking about this? The goal isn't to give you the best, most like elite answers. We're still talking
Right.
some low level money makers here, folks. That's what we're hoping for. Low level money makers here.
And I was trying to think of stuff that wasn't super mainstream because while there are things like you can just rune craft for pretty decent money, it's also soul crushing. So for me, in the things that I had chosen, I wanted it to be random enough that if you needed to make a couple extra mil, you're not doing the same thing you're doing every day. And same goes with the PVM. Like we all know raids and general bossing is going to be the best way to make money, but sometimes you want a lower intensity option.
Hmm.
Sometimes you just want to AFK at revs and potentially die, or kill the AFK at zombie pirates and make okay money. This isn't going to be the highest GP per hour methods, but they are viable methods.
That they are. So those were my stats in September of 2020. I had gotten the quest cape not super long before that. So if you look at my stats, you could tell, like, oh yeah, those are quest cape stats, which is what you, the listener, the new RuneScape player, could set as a goal. Could be fun. Think about it. But the next one that I'm going to talk about requires some questing. And by some questing, I mean kind of a lot of questing, but it's a shitload of money per hour. You got to trust me here on this one. It's a tale of two demons. One based off of the old tormented demons in RS3, the demonic gorillas, where they vaguely do the exact same thing. Some interesting mechanics. They switch prayers, they switch overheads. You need two different attack styles. They attack you with all three different attack styles. They've got good alchables. They drop runes. They drop food and prayer so you can keep your supplies going. They're not that far from a bank. You're chilling. You know, demonic gorillas, they're a great inspiration from tormented demons that were in RS3. And the other is actually tormented demons that they then backported from RS3 into old school RuneScape. That feels so much fucking worse than demonic gorillas. But according to the wiki, both demonic gorillas and tormented demons are, you ready, Michael? Tormenteds are 5.1 mil an hour, and demonics are 5.5 mil an hour. This is, of course, assuming you get the chase drops,
Yeah.
either the Zenite from the demonic gorillas or the tormented synapse from the tormented demons. Both of these can and quite frankly should be killed on task, just like revenants for my last example. But these guys do provide some half decent GP. Now, like we said, low level, low to mid level. Low to mid level to Michael means something different because, again, we have RuneScape brain. But if you're looking at this that's been on the screen right now, if you're looking at these stats, particularly on the left side, the combats, those will come pretty naturally to you. I swear to God, that's 2 months after my quest cape. And after I got my quest cape, I started meeting friends like Michael, who I was like going on rage and shit with. Like those were the stats I sent to my group of friends to be like, hey, do you think I could get through chambers with this? And they said yes. So, like, those are the stats following your quest cape that you're able to do raids with. That's not even considering TOA. So, are we undershooting it a little bit for what your skill set could be? Absolutely. But we're trying to make you guys some money without putting a ton of effort in.
Mhm.
So, demonic gorillas and tormented demons. The highest requirement for both quests, I believe, you need to get 70 crafting for Monkey Madness 2, as far as like things that cost money. 70 crafting for Monkey Madness 2, and then you need 65 herb lore for While Gothic Sleeps. I understand there are other requirements. You need 72 thieving and 65 farming and 67 magic, 66 agility and 62 hunter for While Gothic Sleeps. Those other skills are basically free. I know farming isn't technically free, but like fruit tree saplings are super cheap, right? This isn't here to talk about that. I know 69 Slayer for Monkey Madness 2 takes a long time, but for the most part, it is free. Something you're not going to go to the Grand Exchange and calculate what you need to afford 69 Slayer. So 70 crafting and 65 herb lore are your targets of things that you're going to want to spend money for. So do some wilderness content to get those requirements and then move up a tier, head out to the demons. I like demonics. I do. I don't mind them. They're tough. They are tough to learn. At least they were tough for me to learn at first. But once you do, they're not too bad. You'll need a Demon Bane weapon, which the Arclight should do just fine, because for 69 Slayer, theoretically, you should be doing some things in the catacombs. So, Tormented Demons and Demonic Gorillas for money making. Do your goddamn quests. I'm watching you.
With like, it goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it. If you're doing demonic gorillas and tormented demons, it's only going to benefit you. There is literally no downside to doing either of these as a moneymaker because they introduce mechanics in a small way that will help you later on with just general PVM.
You'll lose your fucking mind. That'll be the detriment. You'll lose your fucking mind if you're there for too long. But
with tormented demons, you have to watch where you walk because they have that fire attack that can come out and basically one shot you. Demonic gorillas are just overhead change simulator and gear switch simulator. So there's a lot of benefits to doing these, as well as the money that comes with them if you get the chase drop. I would never really bank on the GP per hour that you see on the wiki because that averages out, X number of kills with like maybe you go on drop rate for things. There is a very real possibility you do, 1,000 TDs and don't get a synapse. So
you're right.
There's always a grain of salt.
It is very possible. What I will say in response to that, particularly with demonic gorillas, tormented demons will drop things that feel like we lied to you. They'll drop like unstrung magic short bows and like singular battle staves. Like you're gonna kill a tormented demon and be like, Oxie and Michael are fucking idiots. And we might be, but demonics, you'll probably make like, I don't know, 3 mil on a task. If you get nothing, conservatively, you'll get like 3 mil. You could get even more if you get nothing but like rune chain bodies, and dragon scimitars and alk those. You can make more. But even without the big money drop, for at least demonic gorillas, you can make some pretty okay money for the tasks. I would not do these things off task. I would get a black demons or a greater demons task.
Yeah, because the Slayer XP is nutty.
The Slayer XP
especially
is
with
fucking stupid. Oh my god.
You don't need a Slayer level to get a black demons or greater demons task.
So here's your guys' strategy, right? You guys are gonna do the 3 money makers that Michael and I just talked about. Maybe not Volcano, because that one's barred behind a shitload of skills. You're going to do the first 2 money makers Michael and I talked about. Then you're going to buy 65 herb lore and 65 farming. You're going to get all of the requirements done for while Guthic sleeps. And you're going to do that quest. And you're going to suffer through the Surok Magus fight. And you're going to do the quest. And you're going to be like, wow, that was great. And then you're going to kill Tormented Demons. You're going to do 1 task of Greater Demons. You should be close to 69 Slayer.
Yeah.
Because
like
you get
1,000 XP per.
It is like 1,000 Slayer XP per kill. You get a shit ton of Slayer XP per kill with Tormented Demons. And then when you get 69 Slayer, you can go do with 70 crafting, Monkey Madness 2. You'll suffer through the barge like we all did. It's a rite of passage. And then you'll start doing demonics and you'll be like, wow, why did they even include Tormented Demons? These things are way better. I know it just felt weird not to include them, but yeah, that's your guys' mission.
So I do have one more, and it relates to farming. So in this ecosystem of making money to train your account, while you're doing that, do herb runs. Religiously do herb runs. There is a page on the wiki about how much money you make on average with each type of herb. But starting at level 32, you can grow Renars. By then, you should have a handful of patches that you have access to. Whether or not you can teleport to them efficiently, just work towards that. But for the most part, Renars, Snapdragons, Torstals, the big herbs that get used for like really good potions, they're going to be 100% profit in that you buy one seed, you make way more money than it costs to buy that seed with just the herb yield. It's a slower way of training farming. I will admit to that. But in terms of money, it is very, very consistent for very, very little effort. Say, and I've done this, say you've got like an 8 hour shift at work, your herbs will grow, I think, every like 40 minutes to an hour. Whatever the time is, set a timer. And every time that timer goes off, log in for 5 minutes and do an herb run, and then log out and reset yourself. And then at the end of a workday, you've played for maybe a total of 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and you've made a pretty decent chunk of money while training your farming. Again, it's not going to be as good as doing like tree runs where you're actually spending money, but enough herb runs can get you to the requirements that you need for your quest cape. And you'll have a lot of money to then dump into other skills like construction and crafting and herb lore, where those are pretty much buyables. There's not a lot of profitable methods when it comes to those. Maybe, maybe you can find a random day where herb lore is profitable, but it's kind of rare.
There is a profitable crafting method that I know of. At least it used to be back in the day. You can, if you hate yourself, buy gold bars and smelt them into like gold necklaces or something, or gold bracelets.
Bracelets. I think it's bracelets.
Yeah, so gold ore is 144, gold bracelets are 239. So if you want to
Oh.
get crazy, you can make gold bracelets for a profit of like 90 GP.
That's not bad.
Please
You're
don't
still
do
training
this.
you're training a skill
Brother, it's
like
25
hella slow.
XP. It is 25 XP per gold bar. I am begging you. Please
Yeah.
don't do
You're
this.
better off.
Why am I begging
spending
you not to
money.
do this, Michael?
Well, because you're better off spending money to get faster XP to not have to train it for so long. Because the time that you're wasting is like it's time that you could be doing other things.
I'll give him credit. He's objectively not wrong. But no, Michael, I'm telling you not to do this because I did this for a few levels in the 50s. Don't do this. Don't buy. Oh, it's not gold ore. Sorry, gold bars. So it's like
Gold bars.
130 GP profit. Don't do
Yeah, because
this.
you lose money from gold bars. Or if you're making gold bars, you're losing money, which sucks.
Yeah, don't do this. Don't do this. It's fine crafting XP when you're in like the 50s. It's not though. Please don't do this. So just think about it and then don't think about it for profitable crafting methods. Yeah.
I have one more as it relates to farming, and this one doesn't actually require any farming level, and unfortunately, it doesn't give you any XP. But there is a handful of items that people like to have without making themselves, and that's saplings. So if you have the requirements and you can do lunar diplomacy and get yourself the humidify spell, you can make decent money by just turning seeds into saplings and selling them back on the GE.
God
On
damn.
average, it's probably a couple hundred GP per sapling, but you times that by, a few thousand if you're able to afford that much like overhead. You can make decent money by just casting humidify on an inventory of saplings. So That's another way to do it. It's not going to gain you any XP, unfortunately, but I have personally done this for money and it's not bad. Just find one where the seeds cost less than the sapling and you're good to go.
So it doesn't require lunar diplomacy. It requires Dream Mentor,
Oh,
which,
okay.
while Dream Mentor doesn't have any more stat requirements than lunar diplomacy does, Dream Mentor is Dream Mentor has substantially harder combat than lunar
Ah,
diplomacy, particularly because the inadequacy is not really a pushover at the level you're doing it at. The level like 80 combat, mid 60s, mid 50s, everything. The inadequacy is not great. The other bosses that follow are a joke and they can be safe spotted, so that part's not that bad. But the inadequacy can't be safe spotted and is decently difficult when you
yeah.
first start. So if you can do a Dream Mentor, cool. It has a lot of quest requirements to do Dream Mentor. So if you can do it, if you have it done, this does work. Because let me tell you, as a main account, I never bought no fucking seeds. I bought sapling.
Yeah. People just sell the seeds when they get them as drops and they go into the market and then there's people like you, the listener, who buys them and turns them into saplings. I'm sure there's bot farms out there dedicated to doing this, which is why the supply of saplings has been kept up. An alternative, though, if you don't have the requirements to do Dream Mentor or you don't want to do the quest, you can use cans of water, watering cans, or you can go get the Grycolors can, which holds like several hundred charges of water in it, just one inventory slot. So you're filling up your bucket less, but it's not going to be as fast, unfortunately. And it's going to be a lot more clicking. Humidify does your entire inventory in one click. There is some runes to think about. So there's a little bit of input cost when it comes to buying the seeds and the runes. So take that into consideration. It would be a little bit more profit if you did it with watering cans or the Grycolors can, but it's going to be slower. So that would be my last recommendation.
Hell yeah. My last recommendation that I would have is going to come to the surprise of no one if you've played the game for a little while. Whether you've played the game a lot and are listening to this episode because you're like Michael and I and you low key love like listening to shit, you're like, oh my God, low level money makers. As you're sitting there like sharpening your scythe and shit, like you're like, hey, I love a good, I love when Xpwaste does a low level money maker episode. Yeah, I love this. Whether you're like that, like Michael and I, or you're actually new to the account, this one probably won't be that surprising. Slayer. Now, there are a lot of things about Slayer that one can dislike. Slayer is one of the slowest skills in the game. At least it feels like it's one of the slowest skills in the game. It feels fucking awful to do. Slayer feels really slow. But the trade-off for Slayer is, of course, the money that you could make. Now, I am gonna be generous and say that the absolute peak I'm looking at is 77 Slayer, not 75. I've been trying to look at like 75 and below for low level stuff this episode, but I'm gonna be generous and say 77. There are a couple things that I'm looking at here on the Slayer monster list that are gonna make you some decent money. And appear on the actual wiki as well. Brutal black dragons are the first option. They do require some input, and you probably won't get that many kills per hour if you're in like the 70s range. But you can blowpipe them. You can crossbow them. If you have a friend who wants to loan you a Dragon Hunter Lance, you can use those as well. They drop pretty consistent money. Lowering down the levels a little bit, gargoyles are AFKable. I highly, highly, highly recommend you invest in the Gargoyle Smasher perk from
Yeah.
Slayer Masters. So you auto smash them and you make your life a whole lot easier. Gargoyles kind of shit out GP, and it's real AFK. Brutal Black Dragons require a little bit of focus. Brutal Black Dragons have like two different combat styles. It's good money if you're active, like on a Black Dragons task,
Mhm.
but they're not AFK. Gargoyles, dude, super combat potion, melee prey, auto retaliate. With Gargoyle Smasher, you're chilling. You're chilling. They drop rune items. They drop ores. They drop runes. They drop raw cash. Gargoyles drop like 10K raw cash pretty regularly. They're about a mil an hour to kill gargoyles. Lowering it down a little bit even further, we have skeletal wyverns. Once again, another very chill AFKable Slayer boss. They're not as AFK as gargoyles because they do have the dragon fire and they will melee you. I like to take just like an inventory of anglers when I do skeletal wyverns. Again, I'm a main with a lot of money, so I leave most of the shit on the ground. But they drop alkables. Wyvern bones are always worth a good portion of money, and they're a pretty good source of seeds. So the snapdragon seeds and the Raynar seeds, if you want to keep those and plant them, like Michael said, for herb runs, or you can sell them and get the money up front, which is what I used to do. I told the story a million times. It's always very humbling to play with low level bingo players because when you play this game for as long as Michael and I have, you forget.
Mm-hmm.
You forget what it used to be like to play without any money. There were times I remember very vividly, I would be on a Slayer task, killing like aberrant specters in the catacombs of Korend. Awful task, by the way. Don't do that. And I would be running out of prayer potions. And the best drop I could get would be a Raynar seed or a Snapdragon seed. Because I could teleport out, go to the GE, sell it to get GP, and buy more prayer potions to continue doing the task. Like, when you don't have money in RuneScape, this game feels fucking impossible to kill things. So,
Agreed.
we get it. Like, if you're hearing me talk about Slayer, you're like, why do you leave things on the ground? It's because I have been where you are, as has Michael. You will get to where we are if you just keep going. That I sound like a finance bro saying that, and I hate that. This whole episode sounds a little finance. Like, you need to be doing these 6 things to make $1 million bajillion dollars in RuneScape. You don't have to do anything, right? But this isn't like finance bro advice. I'm just saying, like, we've
buy a
been there.
bond.
I'll whip out the calculations one day. I still got them written down somewhere in this apartment. Of my Song of the Elves prep. But yeah, Kurasks as well. In addition to skeletal wyverns, Kurasks are like 1.1 mil an hour for some
Yeah.
reason. They drop a bunch of shit.
It's all the bosses that give you stuff noted.
Yeah.
Like gargoyles are noted, everything's noted. Kurasks, everything's noted, and they drop in big quantities. So I think the coconuts are
Mhm.
the big drop at Kurasks. But the occasional like leaf bladed weapon, not a
Yeah,
bad,
those
not a
are
bad.
like alchable though. If memory serves me correctly.
I alch them because I'm an iron, but like yeah, they're I bet they're probably around alch price.
Yeah. Going down the list even further a little bit, don't do Fossil Island Wyverns. Just don't. Dust Devils, if you're in the barraging phase of your account, you can barrage them. And can you high alch with the Lumbee hard ring, or can you only low alch?
You can low alch.
Okay, well, if you want to,
But
what
just
I used to
bank.
do before I had the Lumbee Elite Diary, I'd fill my inventory with decent alchables and runes. I just bank, like Michael said. And
Yeah.
then just come back and get your spot back or hop to another world and get a different spot. Just keep barraging them. It's definitely worth it for the money. Getting to like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Slayer money, worms. Worms are not the best money in the game. But if you're dedicated and also really poor, you can kill worms, pick up their bones, and alch what they drop blood runes, they drop soul runes, they drop some adamant alchs, they drop some rune alchs. You can pick that stuff up, get a decent cash stack going, and you can bank the bones if you're feeling so inclined for prayer XP or for money, whatever it is. I'm not going to go much lower than that because yeah, you could do Basilisk Knights for the jaw. Don't. Like, that just sounds like a lot. So once you hit 62, you do start to make a little bit of money with Slayer. And obviously, like, once you get up to like Abyssal Demons at 85, drop the whip, and Araxites have the boots, and then Hydra is literally the best fucking Slayer moneymaker in the game. I love Hydra for money. Can I look up
Mhm.
Alchemical Hydra? Alchemical Hydra is only 4.6 mil an hour, man. What the hell? Devastating. Hydra still shits out GP though. So
Yeah, and it's
it's
consistent. If you if you alch all the stuff you get and you bank the bones and sell them,
dude,
it's consistent.
bank the bones. What are you, poor? I suppose so, yeah. I have the opposite camp. I like to sit at Hydra for as long as possible. I think my record is 44 KC without leaving the instance. Long trip. Like 2.5 hours long trip.
Hmm.
But it's possible. Hydra's a good time, but you're not there yet. So between like 62 and 75, there are some half decent money makers in Slayer, and hunt for those tasks. Don't be afraid to skip the tasks. Invest in Gargoyle Smasher. That's about it. Don't be afraid to
Extend.
skip. My AD is too HD to have a task extended and make me not want to lose my fucking mind. But if that helps you, then yes, by all means, extend the tasks as well if you would like. But hunt those tasks. Like hunt for them. Skip tasks and hunt for those specifically. Some honorable mentions before we wrap this first half of the episode up. Some bosses, Michael brought them up earlier. Barrows and Perilous Moons. The lens I was thinking, particularly Perilous Moons, feels out of the question because the Blood Moon is abusive to low level players. The Blood
Yeah,
Moon, once you have higher levels, the Blood Moon is fine, but like the Blood Moon is disrespectful if you have low defense and low defense gear. And by low I mean like anything below level 80, low
mhm,
defense. So that's never super fun. Barrows is nice. Barrows was my first like real money maker in the game. Buy yourself some Barrows tabs, buy yourself a strange old lockpick, buy yourself a Trident of the
yes.
Seas, and just fuck it up, man. Barrows is a good time. You can make some. There's some pretty good spikes in there. You can make a nice couple of mil from like RMs or Darox pieces. Pretty good. Other honorable mentions off the top of your head, Michael. Anything come to mind?
Well, not necessarily. I don't have any honorable mentions. I have follow-up notes for a couple I wanted to mention. Gargoyles. My strategy for gargoyles is like hella AFK with almost no input. So the way I used to do gargoyles was I would take full Guthans, set the spear to crush, and you don't even need prayer. So if you take decently defensive gear, you can do a few kills before you would need to heal up. So you don't need prayer potions. Guthans with full Guthans, it'll heal you up just enough that it's sustainable. And I'm lazy enough that I take the Ring of Wealth imbued and I just let that pick up the coins for me. Because if I'm already trying to just be relaxed with it, having a ring for the extra max hit is a trade off that I was willing to make. So bring like a zombie axe or a good crush weapon, bring full Guthans, and wear a ring of wealth, and it becomes the most chill task that you can do around that level. I quite like gargoyles, even like having 96 Slayer on my Iron Man. Like it's a good time. I never shy away from a gargoyles task. Also, gargoyles, it gives you the option to do grotesque gargoyles, which are not necessarily going to be like, oh, I'm doing this for the money. It's good practice. It's good PVM practice, and it does have decent drops. I just think everything at Grotesque Guardians just seems really rare for like the effort that you would put in. But if you want to go do like 10 Grotesque Guardians kills on your gargoyles task and continue to practice your PVM skills, I highly recommend doing that sooner than later. And that goes for almost any boss that comes with like a Slayer or like any task that comes with like a Slayer variant. So once you hit 85, practice doing Sire. Do as many kills as you can stand, and then go finish the task at Abyssal Demons. The only caveat to that is Hydra. Never kill regular Hydras. Always do the boss, because at that point you should be proficient enough in PVM that you don't need to practice regular Hydras and waste your time doing that. The other note I wanted to add was for Wyverns. There is a safe spottable method if you're on task. So if you go up the stairs, you can actually safe spot I think it's 2 different wyverns using range. For me, when I was doing those tasks, I would literally just take a rune crossbow with broad bolts, and it's extremely slow, but it is safe spottable and it is AFK, and you can still make that money. It's just gonna be a little bit slower, but there's almost no input cost because you don't have to pray and you don't have to eat. So any of the supply drops you get are just pure profit. They will drop like lobsters if you accidentally get hit, and that will happen. But the prayer potions and the rainars, you won't need to like put back into the actual grind. But yeah, those are my notes. Those are the things I wanted to mention. I don't like interrupting Oxy, so I just I was like, I wanted to hop in with my 2 cents on those bosses. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
Slayer, amazing money. It's going to be a grind, but it's a very rewarding grind because unlike most skills, Slayer becomes more rewarding the higher you get. At 80, when you can kill Necreals, that's honestly when I started seeing the money on my Iron Man come in because I'm the guy who is going to risk my spot and like bank once I get super full with alkables and like it's it's consistent. You do profit even with using barrage, the spell input, you do profit. So it's good stuff. Oh, speaking of spells, that I did have another one. The meta for Barrows is a bit different these days because they are weak to air spells. So if you can afford a twin flame staff, like don't take the trident, take the twin flame and use the highest wind spell that you can.
You
It's
s
going to be much much better.
take a mystic air staff if you need to. It's okay. Take a mystic air staff if you need to.
Anything to cast an air spell. I don't know how much the twin flame is going for these days, but it
It's
is a good
6 mil.
investment.
It's 6 mil.
Uh, yeah, I guess that. I mean, to me, that's a good
We're talking to
investment.
people who don't have RuneScape brain, Michael. 6 mil's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, actually. But hopefully, in your Barrows grind, you get the chase items such as the Guthans or the Daroks, and you can afford to do minor upgrades here and there. And if you're really dedicated to Barrows, get your medium combat achievements, get a strange lockpick, like Oxy said. You can use World 330 if you really don't have a house that's adequately set up to you know, like heal yourself. And most people have a Barrows teleport there in their
It's
Nexus.
83 mage to do that.
That's not bad. I mean, 83, like magic is one of those skills that just trains itself, but we're talking low level. I feel like that's what you're gonna say.
The guy who
83 is not low
the
level.
guy who brought this up to me said my highest skill is 72 fishing, and I went, okay, so that's where we're at with the money making
Hell
game.
yeah.
I
Hell
feel like
yeah.
I should have added more context for my co-host.
But those are my notes. You guys can do it. I know you can. There's so many things you can do in this game that are both rewarding and fulfilling while making you money.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're doing like baby PVM,
Yep.
say like low level PVM. It can only benefit you.
Speaking of PVM, real PVM, not killing Slayer bosses, Slayer monsters, rather, real PVM. My final tip, my final honorable mention before we go off to break, make some friends.
Mm,
And I know that sounds
yeah.
like an insult. And I know for some of you seems very difficult and seems very scary. If only there was a Discord run by two handsome co-hosts and a third handsome co-host who was on the show once where you could come and hang out. There's people doing content like right now. People doing TOAs right now. Like in the Discord at like 10:30 at night on a Sunday. So people are always in here, always hanging out. Come hang out and be like, "Hey, I want to learn how to do this boss." There are people in this Discord who like do no pillar inferno. I don't know if Jesse's done a no pillar inferno. If I'm being entirely honest, that might be a farce. However, we got folks around here who could do some hard shit. We've also got folks around here who are more than happy to teach you the easiest shit in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have people who have thousands of hours, have killed every boss hundreds of times, and they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, learners, let's do it." Learner content, let's go. Just tell them Oxie said they want to assemble the Church of Bear for some low level money making. We'll get some folks out there. We'll get some folks out there. And we'll talk about that Discord. I realize the recording booth chat is like, what Discord is that? It's ours. Discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Make some friends. I promise this whole episode wasn't just to be a plug. The way you can progress in RuneScape, at least how it was for me, was skyrocketed when I started hanging out with people. First time I actually hung out with Michael and folks in voice chat, we went to every single God Wars dungeon boss in the first like hour we were all together, right? I had
Yeah.
never been to those God Wars dungeon bosses. I think I went to Grardor once. I'd never been to Krill. I'd never been to Zilly. I'd never been to Kriara. And I went with people and I got kills for my elite diary way before I should have, right? So when you make friends, when you show up, I would say you should sign up for bingo, but I'm fairly certain by the time this episode comes out, bingo signups are closed. But join
Yeah.
nonetheless and hang out. That's my
Or
last
make
tip.
your own clan.
Yeah.
That's a fun thing. Yeah, I think you only need 5 people and grow it from there. You know, there's plenty of people recruiting at the GE. So if you're just doing like some bank standing, I used to do this a lot where I would just chat with people. I don't do it as often, but back in the day, just chatting with people and making friends. I made friends with a guy that we would just go kill old Callisto in the wilderness randomly and get PK'd, and it was a lot of fun. So you can make friends organically, and it's not as daunting because if you never join a Discord with somebody and you never have like a outside of the game interaction, you don't have to talk to people. You don't have to like physically interact with anybody. It's all just, you see them log in, you say hi. So make friends. However you want to do it, make friends because this is like for better or for worse, a social game. You can play alone, you can stand alone as an iron, but a lot of the stuff in this game, if you're a newer player, a lot of this stuff is going to be better with other people. That's why it's an MMO. So I concur on that one.
Yeah.
I think that's going to do it though for our small but mighty list of like low to mid level moneymakers. If there's anything that we missed or you think of anything else that could help somebody, put it in the comments. Drop a comment on Spotify, drop a comment on YouTube. We all together make up as much info there is on the wiki. So if you don't want to go searching around the wiki, check the comments, see if there's anything we missed, and let us know your favorite moneymakers if you want to join the Discord and put it in the Xpwaste chat. That's going to do it for this half of the episode. We're going to take a short break, enjoy this commercial, and we'll be back in the next half for our community focus section. So see you in a minute.
Are you tired of the cold of the toad seeping into your bones? You overworked and underpaid? Accused of job abandonment? Suffered serious injury or even death from an unsafe work environment? If you've been affected by any of those previous afflictions, you need to call us immediately. Hurt by the toad? Remember the code. Isles Files, the best workplace injury attorneys in Gillinor.
Isles Files and Files, subsidiary of the Gillinor Protection Agency. We are not affiliated with the Winterdawn, Pyromancers, or Doors of Din. We cannot guarantee outcomes. Minimum retainer of 10 million GP required. We do not have legal jurisdiction in the regions of Kandrin, Asgardia, or Evil Dave's Basement. Availability subject to change. Terms, conditions, and loopholes will apply.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. It's a part of the show now where we're going to take some time to thank our patrons, starting with the Wise Old Man tier. We don't actually have any new Wise Old Man tier.
Before we start the Patreon, I hate to interrupt Michael. Did we have a new user submitted commercial for that break?
We did. That's a good
think
call
we did.
out.
This bi-weekly episode cadence is messing us up for things like that. but I'm fairly certain that last commercial, if you're like, what the hell was that? That was from Shady, longtime friend and clan member here in
Oh.
TNL, which is pretty cool. He posted, he's like, hey, decided to try my hand at making a commercial. Feel like I did a pretty good job. And I think he did. I got quite the kick. Michael and I got quite the kick out of it when we listened to it together. 'cause
Oh,
we
it's
were,
the one. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. That was the commercial. Hell yeah. Shout out to Shady. Shout out to Shady on that one.
yeah,
Well done, sir.
it's a good one. It's a good one. If you guys want to submit a commercial, think about it. Think
You do
about it.
It really doesn't take that much. I mean, my like threshold for finding things funny is quite low. So I'll laugh at a lot of stupid stuff. So please just send us something. I'll put it in there. So shout out to Shady. Good on you for that commercial. Now it's time to talk about the patrons.
There we go.
And there we go. We don't actually have any new Wise Old Man patrons this week. So on the screen now is all of our current Wise Old Man patrons. And I just want to say thank you. And we love you. And we appreciate you for all of your individual support for the show. It means a ton to us. And having you all with the opportunity to join the booth at some point is why we keep doing this show. So thank you so much to all of our Wise Old Man patrons. We appreciate you. The first week that you sign up to be a Wise Old Man patron, we will shout you out on the show, and then your name gets added to the list that's on the screen. So if you'd like to join the Wise Old Man tier, that's where you get access to the recording booth. So just keep that in mind and consider it. Moving on now to our KBD tier shoutouts. We have a few here to read like we do every week. So starting at the top, big shout out and big thank you to Two to Fly, Oxie's dad, my dad, all of our dad, Cloud Kicker, Crash Out Jack, Dr. Muffin, PhD, Elite Oreo Dunker, Kieran, our third favorite Patreon supporter, Ralph, Run Metal 15, Ryan M, and the Big G Jordy. Shout out to Kieran specifically because he joined VC with me and Corpse yesterday or the day before, and he was just popping in to say hello, and we took him to Chambers for his first ever Chambers, and he got his Elite Diary completion. Olm could have been smoother, I will say that, but the rest of the
No
raid,
way you're criticizing the learner.
you did absolutely
No way you're
perfect.
criticizing the learner.
Moving on now to our Jad tier,
No
folks.
way.
I'm not criticizing.
That
Did
sounds a
amazing.
little critical. It could have been better. Maybe if you didn't fucking suck, it would have been a little bit better at home.
Well, listen, both me and Corpse also died. So, like, there was a lot of deaths.
Yeah,
I died
like I
3
said,
times.
Olm would have been better if the carry for the learner wouldn't have died.
Exactly. Moving on, though, to our Jad tier shoutouts. The big bad Jad, as Oxie likes to call them. They get a little bit extra sprinkle of love on top of their shout out. So big thank you and a huge shout out to Franz Skyway, Kyrandia, Mithril Fork, Petite River, Soggy Waffles, Sin and Jazz, and Woloznik. I'm not actually quite sure who Sin and Jazz is. Maybe it's just a name change, but who knows? If you're mysteriously a different person. So thank you to all of our Jad tier folks for your incredible support. If you want to join these folks in supporting the show, you can do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Xpwaste. We'll have the link in the description, and we have a bunch of different tiers available. If you just want to join, hey, you can join for $1. So join for as little as $1 and get access to exclusive Patreon content. Now, it is time for our community question, which we are properly getting back into. I know the last, I would say, well, almost all of 2026, community question's been on again and off again, but we are getting back to doing a regular community question. And 2 weeks ago, we asked you to give us your best game jam pitch. So we have some responses on Spotify and YouTube. Starting on Spotify, Zom says, for my game jam, I'm giving us the option to switch our bank back to the old layout. Years of muscle memory. I feel like I don't know where I'm looking in the bank anymore. Just an option would be nice. Yeah, I mean,
When you're
I don't know.
right,
I
you're
like the
right.
new layout. I like the new layout. It does take some getting used to. I cannot deny that, like, as a group Iron Man, the past 4 years of having the little group storage button in the top suddenly being in the bottom left has thrown me off more than once. So maybe for your game jam zom, you can make it to where you're able to move the buttons where you want them. And they just give you little slots that you can just customize where to put things. So if you want your deposit inventory on the far right instead of in the middle, it can be. Moving on, Fizzman15 says, my game jam pitch would be to fix the rare drop table. Right now, it's pretty much a disappointment to hit this table, particularly when you've been chasing a different, less rare drop. Something has to change to make it more exciting and actually wanted while not being too imbalanced. Unfortunately, the Tebow will not make my updated table. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? But no, you're absolutely right, Fizzman. The fact that, like, some of these things are way more rare than the thing you're getting, and you get like an uncut diamond or sometimes a nothing drop, it feels like a slap in the face. So unfortunately, it sucks now, but please, when you are a JMod, go ahead and update it. Moving on to Melvin Man. He says, for my game jam, I'm fixing the menu entry swapper feature on mobile. It's been broken for literally forever. Also making the trees outside of Prif POH unclickable. I don't play much on mobile these days, but I do know that the menu entry swap is subpar. But the trees thing,
It always switches back.
yeah.
Do you guys notice that? The menu entry swap in my experience always switches back.
Hmm.
It will always be right. Like, yeah, left click bank or like tap to bank, not tap to talk to. And then it
Oh.
will switch itself back.
That's so
Frustrating.
stupid. So stupid. Well, Melvin, when you are when you're a JMod, please fix it. Next up, Moist Sean says, here are my game jam ideas. Number 1, add the damn tool belt and stop being a bitch. Number 2, hooded skill capes. This isn't game breaking, so just do it already. Number 3, shamanism. Number 4, 3 to 5 presets would be nice. I know we got bank tabs, but it's not the same. Number 5, a dinosaur hunter activity, similar to Big Game Hunter in RS3. It's one of my favorite activities. And finally, number 6, an option for a fully customizable max cape. Still can have the Infernal max cape, Quiver max cape, etc. But I love the idea of a customizable cape like in RS3. I will say, with the new Glamorer plugin that's been like all the rage on TikTok with a bunch of people, you can customize the colors of things, but only you see them. So if you don't really care what it looks like to other people and you just want it to be more aesthetically pleasing for yourself, download the Glamorer plugin and get to customizing. I made my crystal armor and my bofa basically the same color as Oathplate, and it's really nice. And I updated the Ava's backpack to also be kind of like an Oathplate-ish color, and it's less of an eyesore, and I don't have to purchase the Dead Man mode version to have like a really cool, like edgy looking bofa in crystal armor, which I don't think I'm going to buy that. That's a conversation for another day. Moving on, Dinosaur says, for my game jam, I'm going to retroactively go back and give pets new transmogs. The Soul Pet is getting all the Coliseum monsters as a transmog. The Nibbler is getting all of the Inferno monsters. And the Penance Queen is getting all the BA monsters. Fuck it, I'll even give Vorky a transmog. You can now turn Vorky into a little weird face hugger thing. Why not? Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be a good update.
I do think that there is a severe lack of transmogable pets. And then on the flip side, there are ones that seem really random. Like all of the forestry options.
Like the heron.
Got a bunch of, yeah, I mean, the heron, it has 2. But like Chinchampas, you have all three types of Chinchampa plus the gold one. So there's a lot there. But then I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's like ones that you would think, but then ones that aren't. Last up on Spotify, Alex says, just give Justy a use and make it so you can have a Justy hull. Your boat becomes a tank on the water. Now, as I read that, I don't know if that's necessarily a game jam pitch, but it is a game suggestion. So we'll take it where we got it. Moving on over now to YouTube, we only have a few replies here. So we'll go ahead and get to them. Actually, I think we have one, and it's from Oki. He says, my game jam pitch is, of course, Oxie, are you sitting down? The return of Wrathmaw. He says, but seriously, hear me out. I think the idea of a world boss is actually really cool and would help the game feel more lived in. It's just the implementation of it that sucked 101 ways. Give us a world boss attached to sailing that you have to track, hunt, and fight around the 7 seas. Primarily this creature, let's imagine a big primal turtle, maybe the ancient god of the Tortugans, swims around and lands on some of the emptier islands where if you've opted in, you'd be able to take it in combat. Once a certain time has passed or a threshold
damn,
is
he's
reached,
still reading it. Never mind.
it'll swim away to the next island. However, there's a bit of a twist. Let's make it give Hunter XP and have it be based on a behavioral pattern and routines the way that Monster Hunter monsters used to work. You don't get a tracker, you don't know where it is, but has a certain nest and location it prefers depending on environmental factors. You can also build a facility on your boat that lets you mark it with dye.
Okie, how
so you
much
can
could
find-
you have to say?
So you can find where it's going next, or maybe a hook that lets you attach it and do a little extra damage as it drags you along to the next location. You could even make it semi-instanced, such that you and a group of friends could have your own version of Turtle Mall. So we didn't have a lot of replies on YouTube, but we did have a very chunky one. So thank you, Ulki, for that suggestion. Oxie fully stood up and walked away.
Brother, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Made a
There's no way
sandwich.
the response is this long.
It's 4 paragraphs, and I read every single word of it. So thank you, Ulki, for that suggestion. And thank you to everyone who answered the community question from 2 weeks ago. So if you want to answer this week's question, it will be...
If you want to answer this week's question, Ulki, if you read another fucking novella about Wrathmaw, I didn't even listen to it. This man was on my bingo team. He had the audacity to suggest Wrathmaw. The nerve.
I mean, you should go and read it. It's not Wrathmaw. It's just the idea of Wrathmaw. So, but the community question
nonetheless
will be, how did you word it? What is
this week's community question will be, what is the weirdest thing you've ever done to make money when you didn't have a lot of money? I don't mean like, I danced at the GE, but like you made, I don't know, gold bars into gold bracelets, perhaps. Like your boy, what's the weirdest thing you ever did to make money? I'm talking like something that if someone said that to you, you would go, oh, honey, please don't tell me you've been doing that for very long. 8,000 of them, like that type of. Back in the day, one of my favorite things to do was to kill thugs in the wilderness. Wait for it. With a ring of wealth on. So I'd kill them in that like level 1, level 2 wilderness area right by Vanica with a ring of wealth on to get easy clues. And this was before easy clues were stackable like they are now.
Oh gosh.
So I would sit there for hours and hours and hours. But they dropped Raynars and they dropped clues. And I thought that was going to make me bank, let me tell you. Because on like my second ever hard clue, I got a gilded 2-handed sword. And it really skewed my vision of how much money I thought you could make on clues. That type of example.
I feel like that's the start of your clue hunter arc.
It literally was. I quite literally got a gilded 2-handed sword after stressing my balls off about killing the Saradomin wizard, killed it, and was like, Oh, shit. To this day, it is the only clue mega rare I have got on my main. And I have done 1,300 total clues. 1,500 total clues.
Wait,
It is
don't
the
you have
only.
you have the Bloodhound though?
Yeah, I have the Bloodhound, but that's not a mega rare.
I guess. Yeah.
Like, it is the only gilded piece I have. Yeah, that's literally it. So,
My obscure and totally not good moneymaker actually goes back to RS2. When summoning was out, you could have creatures that you could store things in. And so I took this big turtle looking thing and I went into the Elven Forest and I picked up the singular whiteberry spawn, popping worlds each time to get them. I actually have a screenshot of it.
I'm going to add a caveat to this fun question. Nothing from before the old school era. And
Okay.
that's not to call out Michael by any means. I'm saying nothing from before the old school era because we were fucking kids. I used to kill white knights thinking they were going to drop me something as a kid. Like,
yeah.
when you were a kid, it doesn't count. I want to know the weirdest, stupidest moneymaker you did with a fully formed prefrontal cortex as a grown adult. What did you do? You're like, oh yeah, this is going to make me big money. You know?
Yeah.
Get creative with your stupidity. That's what I want to hear this upcoming 2 weeks.
Well, let us know your stupidity by answering that in the comment section on Spotify or as a reply to the pinned comment on this YouTube video. Throwing it on over now to Oxie for Achievement of the Fortnight.
Achievement of the Fortnite. Let me tell you, Michael and I got some Fortnite achievements together. We fucking rip. We were playing Fortnite, and I shouldn't say we. Michael's wife rips at Fortnite. And my
She really
girlfriend also
does.
kind of rips at Fortnite. And we're just sort of there, you know? And then when they both leave, we get put into like the shitter lobbies, which is really nice.
And we're all warmed up.
Yeah, we're warmed up with the pros and we end up in the shitter lobbies and it goes pretty well. But yeah, it is time for Achievement of the Week this week. We got some fun ones. Kicking us off with the combat category, we have some fire capes, some first fire capes. I feel like a couple of these are firsts. I feel like, let me actually double check this real quick because I feel like I lost my place and need to go back and check. All right, we have a couple first fire capes this week. Let me back up. We have a couple first fire capes this week. Night Breeze and Monged Face, congratulations on your first fire capes. Fizzman got the fire cape on his alt, and Weft got a fire cape for the first time. There was a note here that says, "Don't let him try to convince you that it wasn't his first fire cape. Don't let him try to convince you that he got it on a different account because it was definitely his first ever fire cape ever." I'm not sure if that makes sense or not, but anyways, moving on. In the additional combat, dude, I don't know why I'm all over the place with Achievement of the Week. Iron Cap killed Zulrah for the first time. I'm just going to pull it back together. I don't know how much Michael edits Achievement of the Week. So I don't know how much of the unfiltered stream of consciousness you guys get when Achievement of the Week is going on as I'm trying to read and get my thoughts together on two different monitors. But Iron Cap, you killed Zulrah. Congratulations. When it comes to combat achievements, whatever, I'm not going to say the line. Ninja Crumpets got the hard combat achievements done. Hell yeah, man. You teleport to God Wars now. Cool as hell. We do have some kits in the chat this week. Real crazy got his Missouri kit, and Raymer got his Ward kit. We've got some first quivers this week with both Solus and Josh Jar getting their quivers for the first time. Excellent. Now on to the Inferno with the both of you. And then, Michael, for the first time ever, we have a new boss. Not the first time ever in Achievement of the Week, but for the first time ever, we have some new Cow Boss KCs.
Oh.
Specifically, for those who posted it, the Taco Daddy and Steins Gate both killed Demonic Brutus for the first time.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, guys. Enjoy your nice fancy slippers. Moving on over to the miscellaneous category this week, we do have a couple of them. We have 6 ASU or GASU, 6 ASU. Yeah, 6 is you. You got your Questscape this week. You remember it. You were there. It was awesome. Also, Will Laser, Mr. TNL Learner on the Iron Man, got the Questscape as well. Additionally, JPEGs 101 got their diary cape, and longtime friend and member of the clan, our boy Mima, is, to my knowledge, the first person in the Discord to achieve this. To my knowledge, the first person in TNL to achieve this. Mima has achieved 1,500 collection log slots, aka the Gilded Collection Log Staff, which is fucking sick. Mima, congratulations, because that is fucking crazy. I would
Top
have
300.
Top 300. Goddamn. I would have
That's awesome.
expected. I wouldn't have expected it from anybody else to get it first. So I'm very proud of you, Mima. Congratulations. That's a shit ton of collection logs. Now you just have 150 of the worst collection logs in the game to go after. You got this, King. Hey, it's not going to be worse than the Black Boater. We all remember that. It's not going to be worse than the Black Boater. Wrapping up Achievement of the Week this week with the skilling category. We got a handful of 99, so as always, we're going to machine gun them off for you guys here. Lucifer achieved 99 attack. Steel Beams did not achieve 99 farming. Steel Beams doesn't ever skill. Definitely shouldn't ever pick him for a bingo because he didn't get 99 farming.
Wait,
99
Satan plays
Brooks,
this game?
Hmm?
Lucifer himself? Satan?
Yeah.
6'6"? Wow. Shout out to Satan, the devil himself. Sorry to derail you.
Okay. It's not the derail, it's the timing, Michael. You got to get quicker on the timing. You get quicker on the jump.
I'll just talk louder.
If I say Lucifer, no, I heard you the first time, but after I had already started talking about Steel Beams, you're like, Satan plays this game.
You know what it was?
It's like,
I doubted myself in saying it, and then I was like, why not just say it?
exactly.
So I question myself.
If you're gonna give me witty responses, I need updated Google Chrome speed, not Internet Explorer speed. Like you gotta be quick with it, or else I'm not gonna hear it, and I'm just gonna go, okay. Anyways,
Moving on.
So a wise man once said, moving on. 99 Brooks achieved 99 woodcutting and 99 fire making. Joshua 132. There's only 2 A's, but it feels like it said Joshua like there's 10. He got 99 smithing this week. Iron Sealy, Iron Kelly, Iron Sully achieved 99 defense. Dougie D2 Fresh achieved 99 hit points. Captain Buddy Fighter achieved 99 archaeology in RS3, nearly to the max cape there. Rip Oppie also didn't achieve 99 cooking. Didn't take tens of thousands of wines to do it, so don't listen to it. Beats by Steve achieved 99 attack. KCT achieved 99 hunter. Real crazy achieved 99 mage with a double before Michael gets on my ass about that this week. Yambushi achieved 99 strength and 2200 total level. Papa Smurf 080 achieved 99 fire making and 2k total. I'm like, I wrote you down again, Papa Smurf, but I couldn't find where. I wrote you down right below your name. That's where I wrote you. You have 2 entries in there for 2k total level. Nice Sniffer achieved 99 Slayer. Rimac achieved 99 mining. The Last Plague achieved 99 woodcutting. Shady, the creator of that commercial, achieved 99 defense. And Peabods achieved 99 fishing earlier today. We've got some more total levels here with Mustard Frog and Chips FE both achieving 2200 total level. Welcome to your second to last set of worlds, the penultimate set of worlds that you'll be going on. And then finally, we do have some max capes here. Forsaken V has achieved 2376 total level. I Am Hungry has achieved 2376 total level. Shout out to Clay, who doesn't have a Zulrah kill. I don't think. By the way, I don't think Clay's killed Zulrah yet, but he shouted out his brother for it. So I Am Hungry. Post about your achievements. God damn it. We think it's impressive, and we want to hear about it. Look me in the eyes. Tell us about the cool shit you're doing. Congratulations on the Max Cape, man. I'm very proud of you. Hell yeah. And finally this week, it's the end of an era, Michael. Can you guess?
Oh, yeah, I can guess.
It's the end of an era.
Damn.
The road
Already?
to Max 2 Electric Boogaloo has finally come to an end, and for Vitney has achieved 99 herb lore and 2376 total level. A journey that started in August, technically in March, but the first 99 was in August of 2024, and now we are in March of 2026. God damn, it's March 1st today. It's March 5th when this episode comes out, I think. Damn.
4th or 5th, yeah.
Well, it's the end of an era. Congratulations to the three of you on your Max Capes. They're well earned, they're well deserved. And now you can play the rest of the game or get in the Inferno. Think about it. I don't know what you guys have done on your accounts or not, but congratulations to you and to everyone who achieved something awesome this week and achievement of the week. If you did something awesome, feel free to tell us about it. Head over to discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Post about it in the levels and achievements chat. We would love to see it. We don't care what the achievement is. If you think it's cool, we want to hear about it. Even if your brother doesn't think it's cool and you think it's cool, you can post about it. That's totally fine. Because we want to see the cool stuff you guys are doing. Like Zabfin got base 69s. Nice. I remember getting base 69 combats. That shit was fun. Nice. Post about it in the Discord. We also have an amazing community. We currently have the Sunday Raiders. They're going right now. The caption of the channel is "Purples don't exist," so I imagine it's going great. But you should still come and hang out in our Discord, because if you listen to this and you're like, wow, this episode was great, I want to come make friends. Come hang out on the Discord and make friends. But that is the end of Achievement of the Week. I don't have another bit to add after that. Michael, my friend, you have a fun question for us this week?
I checked the Fun Questions channel and didn't see one, so I just came up with one off the dome for you, my dear friend Oxie. So this fun question comes to you from my brain, and this week's fun question is: if you could have unlimited access to one shop in old school RuneScape, meaning anything in that shop doesn't cost money or points. Points is a big caveat there. There's lots of shops. It doesn't have to be like a general store. If you could have access to one shop with an unlimited supply that never costs you money or points, what shop would it be?
Any shop?
Any shop or any like interface where you trade something for something. So, for instance, I'm doing Mahogany Homes right now.
The Grand Exchange. Everything is free.
But yeah, if you wanted unlimited access to the Mahogany Homes shop, you could basically just have like a million. You could get like 1 million of those contractor supply kits or something.
Do you have one in mind? Because you should go first while I think about it.
I like off the top of my head, I think the Brimhaven Agility shop would be cool, because then you could just get unlimited agility XP. So it's one of the few places where like turning in something gives you XP, so you can stack it up like that. The other items in the shop are kind of pointless, because you could quite literally tank like the hook market. They don't come into the game very often because they take 5 ever to get.
Oh, I know.
But if you just, fill your inventory with them, you're going to tank the market. They're not a very scarce resource. And I think you can buy like a Snapdragon in there as well. So that'd be kind of cool. Just have a lot of herbs. But like the agility XP would be the big one for me. Other than that, like pick any shop in the Tazar area, and I think you would be set for money for life. You could have unlimited access to like the gem shop, for instance, and get a shit ton of crafting XP and sell all of it to make money.
You're not thinking big enough, dude. If you want money, you gotta get unlimited access to the stonemason shop. in
Oh,
Farlamore. And
get
alk
the
the
leaked tech.
condensed gold. Yeah,
Yeah,
gold.
the
Like in
leaked
League,
tech.
you gotta alk the condensed gold. If you really want to think big, that's how you do it.
That's
Um,
fast money, but it literally is just money at that point. I guess, man, I mean, money turns into everything else, so you could go with that. Are there any like obscure ones that you can think of?
the one that keeps coming to mind is the LMS point shop.
Ooh,
Like Justine's Rewards, the LMS point shop.
yeah.
Because like there are some ways to make money, right? Justine's stuff for the last shopper standing. There's some ways to make money with like the Swift Blade and the mall handles and things, but you get if you enjoy spending time in the wilderness, which maybe you do after listening to this episode, wink, it's really useful stuff for the wilderness. Rings of Wealth scrolls, shortbow scrolls, looting bags, rune pouches, a shit ton of bolts, food, prayer, trover parchments, teleports all over the wilderness. And then of course you get the fancy like recolors as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the LMS point shop stands out, though I'm not entirely sure if that's the most useful,
Yeah.
you know?
So the supply crates from Mahogany Homes wouldn't be terrible because like planks are always going to be expensive. So you could just fill your inventory, get a bunch of noted planks, sell them, or use them for construction. It's hard to narrow it down to one because I do think there are a lot of good options, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I try to think of an opposite to that, but it's hard because it's like
Oh
name a
my
shop you would
god.
never
Oh
have
my
access to,
god.
but that's
I'm
dumb.
so stupid, Michael. I'm so stupid.
What are you
I'm
picking?
so stupid. You need to get unlimited points at the fucking Slayer Masters.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm doing. If it's a shop that interfaces what I'm literally eliminating the need for points entirely. And I am getting
Unlimited
unlimited
skips.
extensions and skips and unextensions and all sorts of shit that I am getting totally for free. 100%. It's the Slayer
Yeah.
Master shop.
Yeah.
Full stop.
It-
And then you also get herb sacks, rune pouches, and looting bags. So you can do whatever the fuck you want, wherever you want in the game. You can take your rune pouch literally anywhere in the wilderness. You lose it. Who fucking cares? Just go get a new one. Like
Yeah.
unlimited, not unlimited blocks, but like you can craft a block list for every single Slayer Master without having to spend any points on it, without having to put, it sounds cheesy, but like basically no work into it. And you
Yeah.
can get all of the Slayer helmet recolors, which
That
a
would be
long-term goal for my
that's-
account is to get all the Slayer helmet recolors. So
That is an S tier option, actually. Now that you
Yeah.
mention it,
that's a pretty
It's
good.
quite
That's good.
good.
That's a pretty
quite
good
good.
one.
I don't think I could top that actually, because it like if you don't like PVM, it's not as an appealing of an option because sometimes the whole point of Slayer is to be saving up points to skip the tasks. But like if you just want a boss and say you have a couple of hours and you're like, you know what, Abbey Demons sound great. I want to kill Sire. Literally just skip until you get Abbey Demons tasks all day. And you're not locked behind any sort of restrictions. Because that's the tough part about the Slayer bosses
Mhm.
in this game is they're all task. They all require a task.
Yeah, our
So-
Inferno speedrunners out there are actually going to be thrilled because they can just do whatever they want. You know,
It's true. It's also the best XP in the game doing infernal tasks.
if
I'm
you can
not
get
mistaken.
them, I think. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're cooking with that one.
Well, that's a fun question. Unless you had any other honorable mentions.
I dothn't have any fun questions, as a matter of fact.
Cool. Well, with that fun question ending, that's also the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for listening and for tuning in and, supporting us as we kind of try and figure out where we're going with the show in this new cadence that we have. If you have any thoughts or any feedback for us, obviously, let us know. You can contact us a lot of different ways. All of those will be in the description if you want to check them out. if you're not here to give us feedback and you just want to check out the description, check out our merch store. It's coming up on spring. Warmer weather is around the corner for a lot of places, and we have some really cool t-shirts that might tickle your fancy. One that I still need to order for myself is some of the license plate t-shirts. So check those out and get your merch in for the summer. We have dad hats, we have tank tops, we have hoodies if you are in the southern hemisphere and it's about to be winter. Everything is going to be in the description for you to check out. And that's the end of the show.
In a couple of weeks, it'll be bingo.
Oh,
So
yes.
I'm not entirely sure what our recording cadence is going to look like
Oh, right.
with bingo on the horizon. We're still trying to figure that out. So
I do think the next episode that we would put out is the week of bingo, which we don't normally have an episode the week of bingo.
Mhm.
So we will either pre-record an episode or not have an episode. Still yet to be decided. So who knows? You'll see us when you see us. But with that being said, again, thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you guys when we see you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.